Now, the world of electric vehicles has been changing so rapidly in the past 3 years that investors have been looking not only to take over as dealers, but completely move assembly to the UAE. Joining us now in the studio is Jihad Mohammed, founder and CEO of EV Electra, to discuss how this market has changed in the past 3 years. Thank you very much for joining us, first of all.
Pleasure is mine.
Now, you have taken over the company, HiFi, as majority investor, and I believe that's a 70% takeover, and are planning to reduce the cost of the vehicles by probably 50%. That's a bold move and a huge investment. Talk to us about that.
First, you have to think how we look into the market. UAE for us is not a market. Okay. UAE for us is a hub.
Right.
So having a factory here, or assembly line, if you want to call it, is more than a step forward. It's a step a lot forward. Now, why do we can do that? Because the company launched in 23, went bankruptcy in 24. We took over without any debt.
Right.
The reason the cars are expensive, because there is capital investment, there is depreciation, there is R&D and everything. And in this situation, we paid it full. So that allows us to, and we always consider capital investment is zero in our company. So that allows us to go volume versus price. And we decided to make luxury available for everybody.
Exactly. And the cars I've seen personally are very luxurious. Now, how fast is the EV market growing from, based on your experience? And how can you make sure this is not a short-term commitment and it goes on?
Most of the companies who went on short fused because they made mistakes.
Okay.
Biggest mistake is having a lot of debts, thinking they're going to start today and collect a lot of money tomorrow.
Right.
So they end up going slowly into the market because until they build the trust with the end user and they don't collect enough money to close the debts.
Right.
And the jam happens over there. We decided in EV Electra not to have any debts.
And how did you decide to do that?
Let's say I come up from the telecom world after 30 years. I made good money.
Okay.
I decided if I'm going to do it, I have to do it right.
Right.
I'm the first Arab to do so.
Right.
I'm the first guy from this area to do so. So my mistake is going to push the young generation 50 years back, nobody to try it.
Right.
So I decided not to make it.
You've learned from other people's mistakes. You've used their mistakes to probably, make sure that you go in prepared.
I'm 55 years old. You can imagine how much I learned.
Now, you were telling me you wanted to make this high-end HiFi, that's what it's called, HiFi or HiFi brand. HiFi. More affordable. How exactly, can you give us a little bit of more details about how you can make it more affordable, dropping it by 50%?
Yes. Normally, luxury cars, they do minimum numbers. So when you do minimum numbers, you divide the tooling on the number of cars, the tooling on the number of sales or whatever. And that makes it too high and too expensive.
Yes.
The R&D divided on the number of cars. We decided to go mass with it.
But so you sell more quantities, but how can you guarantee that those quantities, you're able to sell those high amount or high quantities?
I know my product.
Right.
And you make sure that the product sells. And Their Highness already made a blueprint plan for us by saying in 2030, UAE 50% of the government cars will be electric. So they made the roadmap. Now, all what we have to do is to work hard and make sure that we get the front seat.
Right.
And that
makes sense.
Roadmap.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I believe you'll be introducing 3 different models in the first phase. How is HiFi or HiFi different from the other brands in the market?
Normally, cars are compared on 3 levels. Looks, specs, as Sheikh Mohammed 3.
You're right.
Looks, specs, and price.
Right.
In the looks, you saw it.
Yeah.
On the specs, we're double than everybody else. In our range. If you look at it, we're known to be I'm planning to do the Maybach of EVs.
Right.
So on the range, our car starts from 800 kilometers.
Wow.
And pure electric, not hybrid, not generator, nothing, pure electric. And it's going to be on the range of, this is a scoop, 150,000 dirhams in the market. We give 8 years warranty, bumper to bumper,
That's
with no kilometers countdown.
Kilometers, true. Very quickly, when can we expect these cars to officially be available again in the UAE?
Negotiation is going on because we have to choose the right partners and the right distributors, the exclusive one, because that's the way we work. Hopefully within this week we will be able to announce it. and I promised you, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you
But the
very
cars are coming as of next month, hopefully.
Hopefully.
You'll see some of them in the market.
Perfect. Jihad Mohammed, CEO of EV Electra, thank you for joining us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you, sir.